All right, y'all, we are back with another video. Now, this one right here is coming by PragerU as well. Another one that y'all wanted me to do. This one is called The Inconvenient Truth About the Republican Party. If y'all noticed, a few days ago, I did the one with the inconvenient truth about the Democratic Party. And man, it was some crazy stuff in that video. I mean, come on. They were saying that the Democratic Party, like, they perpetrated lynching, they defended slavery, they founded the Ku Klux Klan. I'm like, what in the world? Like, it was like some crazy stuff I seen in that video. I'm like, oh my God. It was some people saying it was true in the comment section. Some people saying it wasn't true, but that video was crazy. Now, like I said, with this one with the Republican Party, we're going to check it out. Be sure to hit that like button. Shout out to everybody that's been hitting that like button. Thank you very much. And shout out to everybody that's been subscribing to the channel. I really appreciate it. Let's keep it going. So please hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new. And let's go ahead and dive straight into this and see what the inconvenient truth about the Republican Party. Let's check it out.
Racist, sexist, Republican, these words are virtually interchangeable, at least according to most professors, journalists, and celebrities. So are they right? Let's take a look at history. The Republican Party was created in 1854. The first Republican Party platform, adopted at the party's first national convention in 1856, promised to defeat, quote, those twin relics of barbarism, polygamy, and slavery. Those twin relics were spreading into the Western territories. Republicans feared that as those territories became states, polygamy and slavery might become permanent parts of American life.
Wow.
Polygamy, the marriage of one man to multiple women, devalued women and made them a kind of property. Slavery, of course, did the same to blacks, literally. The Democrats were so opposed to the Republicans and their anti-slavery stance that in 1860, just 6 weeks after the election of the first Republican president, Abraham Lincoln, South Carolina, a state dominated by Democrats, voted to secede from the Union. The Civil War that followed was the bloodiest war in U.S. history. It led to the passage by Republicans of the 13th Amendment, which freed the slaves, the 14th Amendment, which gave them citizenship, and the 15th Amendment, which gave them the vote. In 1870, the first black senator and the first black congressman were sworn in, both Republicans.
Okay.
In fact, every black representative in the House until 1935 was a Republican, and every black senator until 1979 was too. For that matter, the first female member of Congress was a Republican. The first Hispanic governor and senator were Republicans. The first Asian senator, you get the idea.
Yeah.
Republicans also kept their pledge to defend women's rights. In 1862, the Morrill Anti-Bigamy Act was passed by the Republican-controlled Congress to put an end to polygamy. In 1920, after 52 years of Democratic Party opposition, the 19th Amendment was ratified thanks to the Republican Congress, which pressured Democratic President Woodrow Wilson to drop his opposition to women's rights. In the final tally, only 59% of House Democrats and 41% of Senate Democrats supported women's suffrage. That's compared to 91% of House Republicans and 82% of Senate Republicans. There certainly was a war on women, and it was led by the Democratic Party.
Boy, God, bro, the Democratic, look, man, the Democratic Party is something else. I told y'all when I watched that last video about the Democratic Party, I'm like, oh my God, these people are horrible. Like, look at some of the things that they did. Now it's like they got a leash on women on here, bro. Like, this is like, they was like something else, bro. I'm like, wow. And, you know, and a thing that I got to give Miss Carol Swain, man, she does a great job narrating these videos. It's something that I said in my last video. A lot of y'all in the comment section say y'all love this woman. Like I said, I don't know the woman. Like I said, this is my third time obviously seeing, because it's my third video from PragerU. But she does a great job, man. But the Democratic Party, oh my God, bro. Whew. They are something else, bro. And just going against the women right here is like, whoa.
The Democratic President Woodrow Wilson to drop his opposition to women's rights. In the final tally, only 59% of House Democrats and 41% of Senate Democrats supported women's suffrage. That's compared to 91% of House Republicans and 82% of Senate Republicans. There certainly was a war on women,
man,
and it was led by the Democratic Party. But where Republicans had won a major battle for women's rights, the fight for black civil rights had a long way to go. In the 1920s, Republican President Calvin Coolidge declared that the rights of blacks are just as sacred as those of any other citizen.
Wow. President Calvin Coolidge. The rights of blacks are just as sacred as those of any other citizen. Let's go.
By contrast, when famed sprinter Jesse Owens, a staunch Republican, won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Berlin Olympics, he was snubbed by Democratic President Franklin Roosevelt.
Oh, God.
Roosevelt only invited white Olympians to the White House. 2 decades later, it was a Republican president, Dwight Eisenhower, who sent the 101st Airborne Division to escort black students into Little Rock Central High when Arkansas Governor Orville Forbes, a Democrat, refused to honor a court order to integrate the state's public schools. The Civil Rights Act of 1960, which outlawed poll taxes and other racist measures meant to keep blacks from voting, was...
This right here was crazy, like what I just read right here, y'all. Let me take this back. So he didn't want the Democratic president didn't want the black guy from the Olympics to come into the White House.
He was snubbed by Democratic President Franklin Roosevelt. Roosevelt only invited white Olympians to the White House.
That's crazy. Wow. President Franklin Roosevelt only, oh man, left the black guy out. Black guy couldn't come in the White House because he was black. And this president a Democrat. So that is just crazy, man. Come on, bro. It don't matter what color you are. Treat everybody the same. We are all human. Come on. You just leave him out. He did just as great a job as anybody else did. Like, come on.
Roosevelt only invited white Olympians to the White House. 2 decades later, it was a Republican president, Dwight Eisenhower, who sent the 101st Airborne Division to escort black students into Little Rock Central High when Arkansas Governor Orville Forbes, a Democrat, refused to honor a court order to integrate the state's public schools. The Civil Rights Act of 1960, which outlawed poll taxes and other racist measures meant to keep blacks from voting, was filibustered by 18 Democrats for 125 hours. Not one Republican senator opposed the bill. Its follow-up bill, the Civil Rights Act of 1964, is one of the landmark pieces of legislation in American history. That, too, survived
You can see that right there. It said that we demand an end to segregation now. We demand equal rights now. We demand an end to bias now. It's the way it should be, man. It's like these Democrats, bro, golly. And like I said, some of the things that I read in that first video, I didn't even know about the Democrat. Like when I first seen like they founded the Ku Klux Klan, I'm like, what? I'm like, they defended slavery? They perpetrated lynching? They started, I think it said they started the Civil War or something like that. I'm like, oh, bro, they were just horrible.
Filibuster by Democrats, thanks to overwhelming Republican support. But you might be thinking, all that's in the past. What have Republicans done for women and blacks lately? The answer you'd hear from professors, journalists, and celebrities is not much. And this time they'd be right. They'd be right because the Republican Party treats blacks and women as it treats everyone, as equals.
Okay.
The Democratic Party never has, and it still doesn't.
That's
Today's
crazy.
Democrats treat blacks and women as victims who aren't capable of succeeding on their own. The truth is, this is just a new kind of contempt. So there is a party with a long history of racism and sexism, but it ain't the Republicans. I'm Carol Swain.
That sure was some
for
sexism
Prager
there. That sure was some sexism there because, bro, the Democrat, they just didn't like women. Like, bro, they were just something else when it come to women. What is wrong with the Democrats? What is wrong with them? Like, I mean, you wouldn't even let the president, wouldn't even let the Democrat president, wouldn't even let the black guy in the Olympics because he was black, only allow whites in. Like, this was just crazy. And like, it's just the way, like I said before, the way they treated women, bro. Whew. Man, look, y'all let me know what y'all thought about this down below in the comments section. I will be reading the comments. But like I said, we have made it to the end of the video. I want to thank you all for watching. Like I said, be sure to hit that like button for me. Subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any of my videos. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.